Pick a card. How does a person on your mind feel? Here are your options, and I'll see what you're reading. Hi, friends. Welcome to my channel. My name is Griselle with Toughdolltarot, and I'm here to do your reading. Pile number 1, you chose this lovely image on the right-hand side of the screen, and your downloads go as follows. How does the person on your mind feel? Now, this could be romantic or this could be non-romantic, okay? Just keep that in mind. They feel like they can daydream about you all day. I feel like escapism is the answer, or at least they feel that way. They feel a hair kind of bond with you, but my question is it really grounded? Will they make it tangible? Is it feasible? Is it reasonable? They feel like your connection is immaculate, godly, otherworldly, or untouchable. They almost don't want to taint it with reality. So this to me feels very much like a dream state, dream quality kind of a thing. But we're going to get a little bit more information. So if this sounds like you, or if it sounds interesting, join me for the shuffle. And 3, 2, 1. Welcome to my channel. If you are new here, I hope you find something that is interesting or helpful. And for those of you guys that are indeed my repeat offenders, I am super grateful to have you here. Thank you guys so much for all the love and all the support and all the things. Pile number 1, what does the person on your mind feel? This could be romantic or non-romantic. You have the Black Madonna, Our Lady of the Hermitage. I transform pain and suffering into greater capacity of love, or to love, okay? And we have Queen Esther, Morning Star. My ego is in service of my soul, and I trust my soul's divine timing. Right off the bat, pile number 1, I definitely feel like the person on your mind is feeling like you have this great ability to transform not only your own pain and your own suffering, but theirs as well. Now, I feel like that's really beautiful, but I'm a little bit weary, I gotta say, because I want to make sure that it's not a victim rescuer kind of a dynamic. I think those are the two. But you want to make sure that everything is in a healthy balance. So we have the Morning Star with my ego is in service of my soul, and I trust my soul's divine timing. So I feel like they feel, pile number 1, that you are a divine being, like they really look up to you. And that's kind of the feeling and impression I was getting based on the downloads on the image that you originally chose. Now, it seems to me that maybe you could be in a period of hermitude, or they could be some kind of an estrangement here. Not necessarily, but it could be. And also, I feel like they've seen you really like go within and transmute your own pain and your own energy into having a greater capacity of love. And I feel like this is really admirable. It's also a little bit scary for them as well. It feels very like generational, like transmutation, that kind of a thing, that you maybe perhaps came on this earth to really transmute energy like that. And I feel like the disconnect is that they're in fantasy land a little bit, whether this is a friend or a coworker or a romantic, it doesn't really make a difference. I feel like they like to keep you a little bit like a fantasy type of thing, a little bit like, well, this is my bestie, or this is my soulmate, or whatever, because if the reality touches, they know that pedestal can burst a little bit. And let me just be very clear. I don't think that any of you guys put yourselves on a pedestal. I think if you're in deep ego, then yeah, that's going to happen, right? And the universe has a great way of making us crush down to the ground quite easily. I feel like those things resolve themselves. For the rest of us, I feel like this is just other people kind of having these ideas about us, and that's what we're here to explore. So How does the person on your mind feel? Pile number 1, the Four of Pentacles. Not surprising. And the Lovers. Okay. So during the shuffle, you couldn't hear because I play music over it, but I was asking, like, what is the thing in between, like, reality, grounding this, and the fantasy or the thinking about this or ruminating? What is in the way? And in the way is the Four of Pentacles. So they don't want to really express their feelings or emotions or their thoughts, right? And even here, we have the Pentacle right on the throat chakra right here. And it seems to me like it's almost like being concerned with what people are going to talk about, what people are going to say. And yet they know that this might be like the best shot that they have, or something that they really, really want for some reason. This is like random, but I'm channeling, so I'm going to give it to you straight. I'm like swallowing a lot. So all of a sudden, I don't know if this person gets nervous around you or like, you know, thirsty. Maybe they're going to feel like they're deemed thirsty. I don't know. We have the Lovers right here, and this is like a need to make a choice and coming through a fork on the road traditionally. So they know that they've come through a fork on the road, and I'm looking at this. I don't know if it's an owl, a raven. I'm not sure. Looks like a raven maybe because of Edgar Allan Poe thing. But they're both standing in water, and it seems to be moving, but not super fast. And so the clouds are parting, and I feel like a lot of this has to do with like your maternal qualities. I feel like even if you're male, it doesn't make a difference. We all have positive and negative. We have masculine and feminine within ourselves. And it's a matter of how we balance things out. And so I feel like this is having to make a choice, and they're not really ready for it, or they're not really willing to vocalize it. And if you notice the statue, this bust right here is a little bit like somewhat atrophied behind the characters that are in full swing of judgment or whatever it is that they're talking about. Now, I feel like there could be like a crowd or a fear of like judgment or a fear of expressing oneself about how they feel and having you judge them, that kind of a thing. But I feel like it's more like gossip. Maybe this is a friend group or something like that, and they're kind of like worried or anxious about how everybody else is going to take it. And if it goes well, what are they going to say? If it doesn't go well, how they'll be mocked, or and so on and so forth. It's a little bit, I don't know, it just feels a little immature. I'm going to say that, although we all kind of struggle with feelings and things like that. Also, because the window is kind of half on camera, I'm going to say that this person doesn't have a full view. Maybe they don't have full view of like how you think or how you feel or your expectations, whether friend or romantic, right? So pile number 1, how does the person on your mind feel? Two of Swords. They know they have to make a decision. They know they have been known. Okay. I know that's not even a way of saying things properly, but they have been known. Now, this to me, it looks like an emu, and I could be totally wrong, but this card looks like an emu, and I don't think that the emus bury their head in the sand kind of a thing. I think it's more of a thing of an ostrich. So maybe it is an ostrich, but regardless, the vibe that I'm getting is like this person's trying to stick their head in the sand, but their head won't reach, and so they have to bind their eyes together. And well, you know what I'm saying. They have to kind of blindfold themselves off to the fact that there has to be a decision. And usually with the Two of Swords, we're making a decision that really concerns our heart. We have a lot of feeling, a lot of emotion towards it. Once again, this is avoiding having to make a decision. So they feel like they want to bury their head in the sand, but they know logically that they really can't. And yet here we are. Yeah, 8 of Cups. So they feel like maybe perhaps you're going to walk away or leave the situation or not even be aware of it, honestly, because what happens before the 8 of Cups is the 7 of Cups. 7 of Cups is illusions, ideas, and options, and pure fantasy. And I feel like that is really backing up what the beginning of this reading was talking about. Pile number 1, I definitely feel like this person is a little bit like in La La Land, and they know that in order to ground something, they have to actually make a move. They have to speak up. They have to speak out. And yet there's so much fear. They're holding things close to their chest. Okay. Yeah. They're afraid that they might lose this opportunity with you, the 8 of Cups, or you might just not even know about it or care about it, or you might just walk off and say no, whether it's a friendship thing or a romantic thing. Pile number 1, if you're liking these kind of readings, please do give me a like, share, comment, subscribe. And I want to thank you a moment really quick. If you watched the last video, I did mix up pile number 3 in the image, so I will be more careful. A lot going on, but I will be more careful. So Yeah, we have the Five of Wands. How does your person the person on your mind feel? They feel conflicted. They feel a little bit combative. They feel like all this conflict, I feel like it's really within. And you might see little peaks and valleys of it throughout your interactions, whether it's somebody you see occasionally, casually, or somebody that you haven't seen in a while. I feel like because whatever's going on within us inevitably spills out on the outside world, right? And so we're greatly affected. We're human beings, not human doings. And I feel like this conflict can be expressed in like irritability or even combativeness in their day-to-day life and things like that. Well, they're conflicted, knowing that they have to kind of do something, make a move, make a choice, open their mouths, that kind of a thing. And in the end, they feel like they can maybe make a very small token of advancement, token of friendship. Let's go out for coffee. Hey, I haven't seen you in a while. Do you want to meet up and grab a bite to eat? Or, hey, I really like the outfit you're wearing. And what are you doing these days? And is it okay you want to grab lunch? Or if it's a coworker, hey, I grabbed an extra whatever, a bagel. I'm going to bring it to you. Is it okay to drop it off right now if you work in cubicles? I mean, I don't know your lifestyle, that kind of a thing. But it's a very small token. So I feel like in the end, they're kind of like acknowledging, right? Like I have to kind of ground this. I have to make it a little bit more into the reality realm and not so much as fantasy, because there is a fear of missing out. Isn't that FOMO? Okay. Anyways, a little bit more information. What is this person, the person on your mind? What do they feel? How do they feel? Let's find out. They feel like they want to come towards you. And then all of a sudden I heard, I tumble towards you. I think that was it Boy George? He doesn't have a good reputation right now, but honestly, nobody does at this point in Hollywood. So, yeah. So the Chariot, they want to come towards you. They want to come towards you. They're kind of conflicted. Let's see what else. How are they feeling? They want to rush towards you. They know that they really have to align. And this is really cool. Actually, let's go back to this image. This is a really great imagery of what's going on. They're trying to really harness their positive and negative polarities, their dream being grounded to reality. I feel like that's the difference. It's like the mind connected to the heart, connected to the root chakra, but really not in that order. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, but I feel like they're kind of like, okay, I got this. I really want to head towards this. But then it's a little bit willy-nilly, like, well, we'll see when I get there, instead of having like a real solid plan or an agenda, like, you know what, I'm just going to say and speak my truth. And this is what it is. And if they reject me, that's fine. At least I know. And if they're like, oh, okay, this is a good thing, then we'll go from there. That's really how they should be looking at things. But okay, your last card pile, oh, wow. Number 1. So we have the High Priestess right here. I haven't seen this card in this deck in a minute. And so we have a ton. I feel like this is almost like water, but this is also almost like clouds boosting them up, boosting this person up. And I feel like they're going to go on intuition. And I feel like intuitively you know it. You could be viewed as a High Priestess. For whatever reason, you could have a lot of spiritual clout, if there is such a thing, okay? You could be very well known in your social circles. I'm looking at circles and waves, and I feel like maybe they have followed you and understood or tried to understand or comprehend, and that's part of the intimidating factor. Is like, well, why would somebody like you want somebody like me, whether as a friend or whether as a romantic partner or otherwise, okay? But I feel like the big allure to you, yeah, it's going to be whether you can see a future with this person, again, in a friend fashion or lover fashion. It's entirely up to you. Familial, hello, I can say that word. So yeah, everything alludes to they really have to conquer themselves, conquer that battle within, so that they in turn can be really still about it and say, you know what, if this is meant for me, it'll work out. If it is not meant for me, then better to end all the speculation, all the fantasy, and all the drama in my brain, in my heart, that kind of a thing, so that I can really continue moving forward with my life. So I hope that this helps. Let me know what you guys think about this reading. Until next time, namaste. Hi friends, my name is Griselle with Toughdolltarot, and I'm here to do your reading. Pile number 2, you chose this lovely image on the right hand side of the screen, and your downloads go as follows. How does the person on your mind feel? This could be platonic or this could be romantic. It's not designated for one or the other. I'm going to be reading for both, okay? This person doesn't want you or anyone else to know how they feel, in fact, but we're going to move beyond that. They don't want to be known or exposed as far as what they feel, what they think, and what they see in regards to your relationship, your situationship. It could be a friendship or simply somebody that has their eye on you for whatever reason. It could be like they want you to be a friend or an employee or a coworker, or they want to team up together or love, whatever. So this person doesn't really want to be transparent, not at all. They are considering the future. There's lots and lots of mental activity going on in this picture. Yeah, I wrote lots of mental activity and energy being generated for this, not ready to reveal their hand in the matter. And everything is a little bit shrouded and cloaked in secret. It vibrationally, it feels a little bit like pile number 1, but it's more strategic and less fantasy based. So if this sounds like you, or if this sounds interesting, then stay with me through the shuffle. And 3, 2, 1. Welcome to my channel. If you are new here, I hope that you find something that's helpful, hopeful, or at the very least something that's amusing. Pile number 2, if you are a repeat offender, I'm super grateful to have you here. Thank you so much for your love, for your support. I really do appreciate it. So pile 2, how does this person, the person on your mind, feel? Keep in mind this could be romantic and non-romantic, either way. So let's see what's going on here. You have Sarah Devi, the Divine Mother with unconditional love exists within me. The presence of love is the absence of judgment. Wow. That's cool. And you have, I'm not going to be able to say this. I have a pronunciation problem. Machine Lebdron, the diamond-hearted Dakini. I see the light within my own darkness. I face my ego beliefs to feel free. Wow. Carrying a bell and a magnifying glass almost. So I'm just going to say right off the bat, pile number 2. I feel like this person can really feel like there's a hidden quality about you, like vibrationally, they feel very free, very like an ability to speak their truth. They can say whatever it is that they want. It's the absence of judgment. And that's what the draw is for you. And I feel like not just for this person, the person on your mind, but also for like many people are drawn to that part of your light. Okay. Excuse me. And even the fact that I feel like you could be very vulnerable, very open about like your own failures or shortcomings and things like that. And keep in mind, like this is, excuse me, this is a learning planet. Otherwise known as a prison planet. Sorry. I do believe that. But I'm just going to say here that we're all learning and evolving and things like that. And so you're going to be in different stages in life. And I definitely feel like the person on your mind, they feel like you have an evanescence about you. Effervescence. Maybe you like evanescence. It's totally different. But maybe you feel very like effervescent to them, very light, very airy. And I don't mean that you're kind of like a pixie, although you could be a little bit like pixie. But I definitely feel like the absence of that judgment from you is very powerful, because I feel like your weight, the weight of your thoughts, the weight of your actions and things like that are really important to this person. But I feel like, hello, throat chakra, more than this person. Yeah, that would make sense. Because of the image that you originally chose, the throat chakra is really wrapped up in black completely. So they don't want this revealed. I feel like it's difficulty speaking it. but you have healing energy for sure. And the way that you can face your own darkness, your own shadow, is incredibly inspiring. And the way that you love, and somebody here wanted to swear. So I don't know. I have a potty mouth. I try to control that, but maybe you do as well, or maybe the person that you are focused on. And maybe they're not used to feelings like this. Okay. So I definitely feel like they want to keep it hidden for a bit. Let's see what else we have. How does the person on your mind feel? You have the Star. Well, that's not a surprise, right? And you have the Four of Wands. Wow. So they feel like you could be somebody. Look at these colors, you guys. This is Edgar Allan Poe deck. And then the skinny ones everybody always asks me about is called the Magical Forest Tarot. You can find those on Etsy. Not affiliated, by the way, but tell them I said, hey. So with the Star right here, they really view you as untouchable. You could live maybe far away from them, that kind of a thing. It could be long distance, but in the end, they see in you a reflection of themselves. And I feel like maybe perhaps you could be a little bit more spiritually evolved than them, although I don't like that whole hierarchy thing, or like, you know, we're more advanced than other people, and I don't even know. I feel like if we're always working on something, then we're always working on, that's where the focus should be, okay? Not on being above other people. At least that's what I think. But also I'm looking at the ripples right here. I feel like you've had an incredible ripple effect on their lives, on their psyche. And unbeknownst to you thus far, maybe you intuitively know this, I feel like this ripple effect has really touched them in such a way that they can't go back to the way things used to be. And so for whatever reason, yeah, they look at you kind of like a star, right? It's something that's a little bit untouchable, out of their league, that kind of a thing. They could feel like you're out of their league as well. They could feel like there's a grand separation. But with all being said, 505 right now, that could mean something is someone. With the fives, a lot of changes and oscillations. They know that a lot of changes have to happen in order to be near you or come to you, or if it's a friendship thing, in order to, you know, even be like a close friendship, there has to be some type of vulnerability. Now, with the Four of Wands right here, this really talks to me about, well, it could be about repose. I mean, this one, let's get in here, guys. This one angel seems to be telling the other one to shush, like, shh, let's not even mention it, which kind of is the vibe of the picture that you chose originally. But there's a lot of mental activity, and I feel like you've maybe ignited, or you've launched this person unbeknownst to you on a, I don't know, spiritual path, on like you've awakened them, you've initiated them, that kind of a thing. And with the Four of Wands, it took me 6 minutes to tell you. Four of Wands is really wanting to like live together, wanting to join together, like be close. It could be, again, like friendship or whatever, but it's like this person wants to be close. With the Star, it's like, I'm so far away from you, I want to be close. Even if this person lives 2 miles from you, or even if this person is within the same house. Now, I just want to, I guess, explain that part, because once upon a time I was married. Shocker, right? But I remember feeling so lonely that in my marriage, that it's kind of like, well, you're even lonelier with a person there because they don't understand, or they're not exchanging that energy. There is a big barrier. And maybe perhaps that's how this person feels. It's like they want to get into the juiciness of it with you. All this purple is so inviting. And the green is really beautiful too. That's grounding things into the 3D world. Yeah, at the Four of Wands is like setting up shop. It's like living together, establishing something. It could be establishing a business once again. So not just romantic. Pile number 2. You have the 10 of Pentacles. What? And look at all that. So we know that the koi fish, they're incredibly lucky. They're beautiful. I love to really just look at them. I would love to have a pond with koi fish. If I had one wish, that would probably be it. But look at all the coins like falling down. And this koi fish is just continuing to look up. And so with the 10 of Pentacles, I feel like this person feels like you're incredibly abundant. They feel like you could be like a power couple, a power team, a powerhouse, if this is like a business and things like that, where, you know, you could make it rain. In other words, right? There seems to be like a lot of like legacy that you could leave behind for your children, their children, whatever, that kind of a thing. So with the 10 being depicted again right here, because the number 505, that reduces to a 10, I feel like this is like new beginnings, right? New beginnings and ending in a new beginning. So I feel like emotionally, they know that they have to end some chapters, and maybe this person's been solo for a long time, or they haven't ever partnered formally with anybody, or, you know, whichever way that goes for you. And they're really looking and thinking about this. I feel like this could be the quintessential, I don't want to say runner chaser dynamic because I hate that, but this could be somebody who is known for being kind of like the Knight of Wands or the King of Wands, who has a history of running in and out of situations full of passion and yet committing to not a lot of it. Okay. The King of Wands, of course, is more controlled ultimately, but they have run through the phases previously, and now they've known how to control that portion of themselves. The color indigo or purple could be very important at this point in time. It is very spiritual, and it is affiliated with royalty as well. So this person feels like you are royalty. Like, to be next to you is luxury. It is luxury just to be in your presence, regardless of your socioeconomic status or whatever. Okay, so pile number 2. The 5 of Pentacles. How does this person, the person on your mind, feel? Maybe they feel, okay, they feel left out. 5 of Pentacles can mean literally like they have nothing or you have nothing. Or it can mean that they feel left out. They feel left out. They don't really know what's going on. And typically in the Rider-Waite, the traditional, and that's a 5, by the way, if you notice. If you notice, you notice, right? But I'm going to say that this can indicate like lone wolf behavior. This can indicate, I don't know your moves, I don't know your life, that kind of a thing. Because the 5s is about not having something. It's about lack. It's about looking through and seeing other people enjoying things that you want potentially as well. So maybe perhaps this person feels like everyone around you has you, like your presence, but they don't have that warmth. They don't have that enrichment. They don't have that luxury lifestyle. Now, again, this could be alluding to money, although I don't really feel like it's that way. I feel like maybe, and I don't want to say that you would be, what do they call it? Like a trophy wife, trophy husband, trophy boss, trophy friend or whatever. But it's almost like a status symbol in a way as well, to partner with you in whichever way, shape, and form. I do feel like there's 2 angels, like maybe people kind of like gossiping about this or talking about this already, unbeknownst to you. Maybe they've talked to friends about it and they're like, well, what would that look like? And they're trying to help them to ground down or trying to be more transparent, whatever that is. Okay. What do we have here? We have the 5 of Cups. Yeah. So this is maybe about a missed opportunity. This is perhaps wishing things were the way they were when they were. When they were what? When they were good. Why do I know that? Because we have 3 of Cups standing up and the 2 spilled. Now, traditionally in the Rider-Waite, we have the 2 upright and the 3 spilled. And usually that really talks to me about thinking about the good old times. Now, this person is looking forward, and I feel like they can have a good old time with you. With the 2 of Cups spilled in the background denotes maybe that there was a break in this partnership or this situationship. Maybe you have known each other or met before, that kind of a thing. But they're wishing to have things kind of be happy and light and joyful and moving forward and getting out of this energy of the 5s of constant change. Maybe this partnership or this situation or the person on your mind, maybe you're energetically, things have ebbed and flowed. There's been a great separation. There are times when you guys can talk or things seem like okay, and then all of a sudden they disappear or things happen and you have no idea what's going on. And I feel like they just really want to rectify that. Pile number 2, you have the Hangman. This person feels like they have to gain a different perspective. They have to really look at things with new eyes. They have to really look at things in a spiritual manner, in a manner that they were not quite prepared to view you as. Now, for somebody here, this is kind of funny, but I almost saw like ski poles. I don't ski, obviously, but I'm just going to say look like ski poles, so it could be a thing if you're learning. I don't know if you use 2, but probably not. I think I've only seen 1. I don't know. I don't know that life. But anyways, I just saw kind of like skiing in my mind's eye. But with a Hangman, there is a need to look at things from a different manner. And they know this, and they are definitely making an effort to trying to see like what is different or what is good with you. So how does this person on your mind feel? The justice part. The justice part. Well, they know that they need to bring things into a balance, that if they are going to be like lurking around, kind of checking things out, or there has to be some kind of a movement, some kind of an assessment needs to be happening, because they feel like maybe they have, everything in the right mind, but then maybe perhaps they're very materialistic and they're looking and they're like, wow, pile number 2 has everything, all the bells and whistles, but they're lacking monetarily. They're lacking a big fat check, a big income. They're not in the right price bracket. So it could be that shallow, by the way. It could be. This can denote somebody who is a Libra also. It doesn't necessarily have to be. They could have Libra in the chart. But with justice right here, I definitely feel like, there's something about the economy or them thinking, how would this affect me financially? Interesting. The person on your mind, how do they feel? They're very mental at this point in time. Very mental. Yeah, King of Swords. What I tell you, King of Swords energy is all about like, let me analyze it. Let me Rubik's Cube it. Let me Tetris it into place. And now, okay, well, this makes sense. Well, then we can progress forward. Well, this doesn't really quite match up with the portfolio that I had in mind. Therefore, that's just kind of a no-go. Let me just continue checking things out to see, but I am still drawn to pile number 2. Why is that? And so maybe, just maybe, the looking at things from a perspective of 3D world, like these are all the things that matter. And maybe they are super materialistic and they need to get out of that mindset. And perhaps that's why you are in their life to begin with, in some way, shape, or form or capacity. This could even be somebody that met you or saw you on the internet. I don't know, right? But I'm just going to say that we're all here to really kind of spark and inspire one another, all whether we like it or not. Pile number 2, how does this person on your mind, how do they feel? What? We're going to end it right here. Pile number 2. I just did not do that. Yeah, I did. We ended with the Lovers. Like, they definitely have a lot of like feeling for you, and they can go back to the old. They can go back to, because let me ask you this. If this was such a big deal in their lives, then wouldn't they just continue pursuing somebody in the same tax bracket, or, pursuing the same things? And would that be like satisfying to them? Why are they out here like speculating and thinking and trying to figure things out and maybe talking to close friends about things when they have something like a hidden desire in their heart? So pile number 2, I definitely feel like they've reached a fork in the road where, again, 1522 on camera right now, where they really have to make a decision. And I feel like they would love to have you close, to be close to you, but there are some logistics that they have to square away. That's how I'm viewing it. I feel like this is very flowy. And again, it echoes the darkness of the original image that you chose. But I feel like they secretly want to bring you close and closer. So emotions are far outweighing the thinking portion, but they are such a thinker, especially with the King of Swords right here, that the, patience might be warranted right here. So let me know what y'all think. Much love to you. Until next time, namaste. Hi friends, my name is Griselle with Toughdolltarot, and I'm here to do your reading. Pile number 3, you chose this lovely image on the right hand side of the screen, and your downloads go as follows. How does the person on your mind feel? This person is very, very heart-centered. I will tell you that. They're heart-centered. I was getting like K-pop vibes or anime. Everything is contingent upon what they hear or sense, how safe it is to speak up, okay? They're not willing to be 100% vulnerable about what the future holds for you or for the connection. Lots of playful ideas and notions about how and what they want to say. They want to be clear and concise and authentic. The timing is everything. Yeah. So this person could be very creative-minded. Some might say they could have their head in the clouds a little bit, but I think that they're very artistic as well. That's what's coming through. So if this sounds like you, or if this sounds interesting, then join me for the shuffle in 3, 2, 1. Welcome, welcome. If you're new to my channel, I hope that you find something that is helpful here. For those of you that are indeed my repeat offenders, thank you guys so much for your love and for your support. The person on your mind, how do they feel? You have Miaoshan, the Princess of Mercy. Giving is receiving. The energy of the universe is merciful. This is so beautiful. I'm thinking all sudden power under control. And Saralak Kali, Queen of the Outsiders. I have arrived. I am where I will always be in love. And by the way, y'all know I probably can't pronounce half the things anyway, so do forgive if that's not how you pronounce it. Right off the bat, I definitely feel like you have a very gentle, loving kind of a vibe. I feel very like Queen of Pentacles, almost like children can come to you, people that are hurt can come to you, and you'll hear them out without like that judgment. But you're very grounded, very observant. And I do feel like you radiate love. Now, once upon a time, I went to Sedona and I heard about this person. I never found out who she was, who was some kind of character in Sedona, that whenever you're around her, you feel nothing but love. She exudes love. And I thought that was so powerful. What a powerful testimony. And I feel like it's similar to you. So this person, the person on your mind, they feel that love radiating from you. They feel that acceptance. They feel, and I feel like it's a higher vibration kind of a love. It's like a love of humanity. I also feel very earthiness to it. So you can be an earth sign or something like that. But I definitely feel like it's very grounded. It's not airy and kind of like fantasy la. It's more like very earthy and grounded, and appreciation for all the things, excuse me, like the seasons. And I also feel like the person on your mind, they have a lot of respect for your wisdom, the wisdom that you're able to impart on others, the way that you have been able to really transform and yourself, I think, over and over again, and transform the things that have been painful or the things that are unsightly or not so lovely and things like that. You've been able to really transmute that energy, and in its place, you hold the power of love. And I feel like space. I feel like you're the friend, that person that would hold space for people in general. Okay. Giving is receiving. The energy of the universe is merciful. And for some reason, they feel like you embody this. Okay. They could have seen you in action. Maybe you work with charities. Maybe you're, the parent of the friend group. Maybe you are that person that people can lean upon and not have judgment, or maybe you just love unconditionally and you can love people through even the bad, the good, the bad, the ugly is what I'm hearing. Okay. So pile number 3, how does this person, the person on your mind, feel? Temperance and Ace of Pentacles. So I definitely feel like they feel very healed, very healing, that this connection can be very healing. They want to jump in with both feet, but they realize that they have to really maintain a level of equanimity, of balance, of self-control, so that they don't wind up making the same mistakes, right, over and over. And I've never known, let's get in there, you guys. Let's get in there. Check this out. Now, all of this water, it's traditionally the cup is like being poured into the other, and you get like a third chemical in there. If you, pour 2 different ingredients together, it's going to make a third in theory. So we have all of these butterflies right here. And I'm just going to say that the way that you transmute things is really beautiful. It's very inspiring, the way that you bring all the elements together. And you could be an energy worker. I'm hearing caretaker. You could be a caretaker. You could be, some of you guys are property managers. That's for one person out there, 1 or 2. But regardless of what you do, it's like this person is seeing that maybe perhaps you've been like an island by yourself. They don't know where you get your strength and your courage from. Maybe perhaps you have, I'm hearing you've been esconed. Is that how you pronounce it? Into the folds of the universe so that you could really work on you and really grow and protect your energy. And maybe perhaps this person doesn't really understand like where those things come from, because this water is pretty dark. They don't know what they're jumping into, but jump they want to, believe you me. Now with the Ace of Pentacles, pile number 3, this is a card that really indicates that I want to really deposit some time and energy into you. I really see that this could be like fertile ground for us, for you, for me, for we, for I, that kind of a thing. and teaching. Somebody is a teacher here. Somebody's an engineer. Somebody is going for like their engineering degree and things like that. Doesn't necessarily have to be. We're reading optimistically for the masses. But what I'm going to say is this person sees that they can ground things with you, that they can actually, they would see a future with you. They do see a future with you. In whatever capacity with the Ace of Pentacles. If this is business, it's like, you know what, we can totally have a go. Let's start with, this 10% of the business, and let's work this, and let's see if this is viable. And if we're both content, and if this works, then let's do it. And so on and so forth. If this is romantic, well, then there you have it. Okay. I feel like also that they are a little bit shielding, that they would be willing to put that time and energy into you and take that risk. Okay. So there's a little bit of shyness coming through for them, because it feels like you have this like loving energy. And my guys, if you're here, if you're still here about all that talking, I'm just going to say that you guys can be very, very loving, if you're spirit-based and you're spirit-led and you're simply focused on like love, on giving is receiving, the energy of the universe is merciful and things like that, then I feel like your energy will even announce you before you enter a room. And I feel like that's very warm and inviting. And let me tell you guys, I don't want to say it like this. I'm just going to say it. I feel like people around you automatically, unbeknownst to them, like logically, they don't know why, but being around you, they feel safe. They feel taken care of. They feel like you are not going to spill their secrets. You're not going to put them in any harm's way, to mental, emotional, spiritual, that kind of a thing. And to be labeled as safe, whether you're male or female, is a huge compliment, you guys. So our society is so screwed up, I feel, when I look at like Reels and TikToks and YouTube and whatever social medias, they're all screwed up. It's like thinking that something is safe and stable is a nemesis, right? And that's not true. That is just nothing but far from the truth. So we definitely have to change our perspective and bring this into like the 3D world, because that's really what we are. We are spirit embodying a body, not a body embodying the spirit. I hope that makes sense for you. Pile number 3, tangent. Okay, let's reel it back in, G. Pile number 3, the person on your mind, how do they feel about you? Now, these did jump out during the shuffle. But I went ahead and kept them because there was exactly 2. So I thought, hey, not a bad thing. Now, there's an element of time. And the 8 of Cups, this could have been somebody that you walked away from, somebody that they walked away from you, that kind of a thing, in pursuit of the ninth cup, okay? But with the 8 of Cups right here, this talks about leaving things behind in order to pursue their dream, their goal, their hopes, whatever it is that they aspire. And maybe perhaps this is talking about how they would have to leave behind even an ideology or a religion or a safe haven, quote unquote, if you're not watching the camera right now or your TV or whatever device you're watching this on. But it could be, when we rely upon like what society says is good for you and things like that, then we're going to fall into these pits. And a lot of these pits are just not good. I mean, let me tell you, a lot of these pits, you're not going to drive your car through. It's a 3D thing. So why would you drive your life through? It doesn't make any sense. So I definitely feel like this person is maybe cutting cords and ties with a mindset of like society and what is socially acceptable. There could be an age gap between you guys. There could be, again, you guys could be different religions or different parts of the country, or you're raised differently and it seems like you don't go together, but you share something that's really, really beautiful, and this person feels a connection. Now, I will say that this person, pile number 3, they feel like they have this like magical quality and connection with you, but they wonder if you feel this way back towards everyone, or if they're special in the way that you feel towards them. I will say that. So there's a little bit of doubt here. Now, pile number 3, you have the Fool. This person wants to take a risk for sure. Yeah, they want to plunge in. I feel like they're just very emotion based, but then they're like, okay, be cautious, be practical. I can't be like, jumping in and being all in if I don't even know if this person likes me, kind of a thing. So there's a little bit of like a youthful exuberance, but there's a little bit of tempered, like, okay, this ain't my first rodeo. Let me kind of reel it in just a little bit. So a little bit of caution there, and that is perfectly fine. Now, I can't help but focus on all of a sudden this wand. This Fool has this wand. They're traveling lightly. I'm all very demure, I'm hearing. Okay. So this person definitely wants to take a risk, and they want to leave things behind in order to really and what they leave behind, by the way, this could be like ideas and religious practices. And this could be like the weight of things that really don't become them anymore. It's like a philosophy that you have to marry within this age group or this financial status group or whatever the restrictions that are in their brain. I feel like they have to kind of like shed that. And it's being done in a, I don't know, in a fruitful way. Because I'm picturing all of a sudden, even though you don't peel a pineapple, I'm thinking about a pineapple like that. But anyways, what else? We have pile number 3. We have the 9 of Wands. Yeah, so they could view you as being a little bit defensive, but also we're talking about like how this person on your mind, the person on your mind, how they feel. They could be a little bit like, I've been hurt before. I'm very heart-centered. I'm very gentle, very loving. You seem very gentle, very loving, but I've been burned before. I've made bad decisions and things like that. And so I feel like they're a little bit cautious. So maybe when they jump right in and they're like all in, you might feel that energy pull back a little bit. It's almost like when I jump in, you want to kind of resurface in the water and kind of look around and go, okay, am I okay? I jumped, am I okay? And that's kind of the spirit or the attitude that we're going to have. It's like, are you going to hurt me? Or are you really going to be gentle and loving? And even people that are gentle and loving, I'm going to say that nobody is perfect, and we can misread things, and we can step on each other's toes, and we can trip and fall and whatever, and things happen. But I feel like the magic is in the recovery. It's like, are you willing to kind of pick each other up? Are you willing to apologize? Are you willing to like really express your truth? Like, man, I didn't even realize that you're walking by and I stuck my foot out and just in the nick of time and you fell and I am so sorry. Are you okay? That kind of a thing versus, you tripped. What a fool. That kind of a thing. Two totally different vibes. I don't know. So I feel like this person will be watching for the small gestures that they make towards you and how receptive you are. And they want to really differentiate between like, is this something that's special between me and pile number 3? Or is this something that pile number 3 would do for anyone else? They want to know that that level of security, and who doesn't, right? That we're special enough that they can really open up more. Yeah, they want to anchor. They want to know if this love is something that they can anchor with you. Because once again, I am feeling more of a romantic vibe in this reading for you guys. Now, some of you guys can literally be from Japan, or you could, be enthralled with the cherry blossoms. I am. And I watched a reel this morning about the cherry blossoms and how people that actually live there that time of the year, they're like, oh my gosh, they're like dreading it. You can't find parking and everything else. And people, AKA us, that are visiting tend to leave like trash out there, which is like, I can't even imagine. But that's the things that we do. So I don't know why I share that with you. Yeah, so maybe this person might be a little bit like all in and they're like, oh my goodness, And then I'm also being led to share about this guy that I found on YouTube like last week, and I've been really largely obsessed with him. He's on YouTube and he does that comedy show with people in the audience, and his audience is part of the large 90% of his comedy. So he walks up and he actually sings to you. And he calls himself like Goofy, but I think it's J something Goofy. I don't know. I'll have to like maybe leave a link there to his channel, but I really enjoy his channel because I don't like comedies and things like that. But I think this has a certain amount of levity and creativeness that really draws my mind to it, my attention, and also just the fact that he's just kind of just open and says whatever he thinks. I really like that as well. But it seems like he doesn't have like a mean spirit, and I enjoy that too. So I don't know. Why did I share that? That's not even a plug-in, but here we are. Maybe this person likes comedy. 10 of Pentacles. Yeah, so this person definitely sees that there could be growth with you and prosperity. There could be like a mutual like flow, a mutual beneficial, I don't want to say relationship, but situation, whatever this is. It's like they see stability, and this is like typically family. With the 10 of Pentacles, I usually think family. I think like legacies, leaving things behind for the next generation. I think love. I think of support. I think of multi-generational people in a same family system that really loves and supports instead of tears down. So all of these things, I feel like that's what this person is feeling, the person on your mind. And that is what I have for you. So let me know what you think about this reading. Much, much love to you. Until next time, namaste.